All right, we've got a lot to break down in this one, and I'm going to be going over how to make better decisions under pressure because it's a big unlock for when you're playing or doing anything in life, really. And for those of you watching for the first time, I just like to give a little background on myself. I've basically been playing now for the last 2 decades, and I hop on about 4 times a week mid stakes. I don't have one type of strategy like GTO, ABC, or whatever. I really focus on two things. The first is making good decisions because at the end of the day, that's what we have control over. And the second thing is that I try to use strategies against my opponents and exploit them as much as possible. Meaning, I'm going to bluff without hesitating if I think somebody is weak. And after playing so many hands, you kind of just pick up on these little things a lot quicker. Of course, as I'm getting into this, I also want to let you guys know we have an awesome community in the pinned comments section where you can talk with me one-on-one, as well as some other high-level members. Kind of, if you're stuck hitting a wall at your current stake or just want to take things more seriously, I just highly recommend getting into it. I think we can get you underway. Also, if you could tap the like, and let's get right into this. And this is going to run for about 15 to 18 minutes, so maybe grab a bottle of water, some Gatorade, or some coffee, and sit back and let's lock in. But let's talk about being under pressure. Everything in me when I'm under pressure wants to panic and make an impulse decision and react. But I've learned that the pressure is just noise trying to trick my brain. So the moment I have to make a decision, I kind of just pause, take a deep breath, and I kind of reset and ask myself, what's the smartest move in this instance, not the fastest one, right? So that's the thing that changes everything. It kind of cuts the emotion, clears the chaos, and forces me to think with intention. I basically just assess risk and I choose the option that serves me in the long game. Okay, pressure doesn't really control me. I just try to control the moment. And I already hinted at this, guys. Sometimes you just have to really think something through and try to just make the best decision you can in the moment. But impulse decisions are just not the way to go about this. Okay. Anyways, like I said, we got some good stuff to go over here. If you guys have any questions, concerns, comments, things like that, feel free to message me and I'll get back to you. But yeah, man, definitely put in some bluffs in this one too, for the most part, and kind of just mix things up. Anyways, and really, when I'm playing, it usually takes about 20 or 30 minutes to kind of see how people are playing at the table, and you kind of just pick up on that. If we take a look at the players at the table, you see player 4 was doing really good in this one. Here we go, Kings. Ooh, look at that river. Oh, that was brutal right there. Did you guys see that? Player 2 got that on the river. Oh, that was tough for player 5 losing with queens right there, man. I feel your pain. That is what it is, right? And that hand right there, player 5 didn't do anything wrong. It's just player 2, man. Wow, that's all I could really say about that. Wow, wow. That kind of stuff happens, but still, it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, it's just about making good decisions, guys. And I'm not going to ramble on about it. There's obviously a lot of nuance to all this, and I think this could also be isolating. That's why we have the community, right? So just encourage you guys to check it out. All right, so ace 5 offsuit. Check this play I made out on player 4. Now we did cut through some hands here. Me and player 4 were kind of battling a little bit to begin this, and I'll tell you what. We battled here, man. Check this out. So I'm just going to put in a position raise from the small blind. He's going to raise us, and he's going to kick it up to the 60 piece, something like that. And the next move I made here was pretty interesting. All right, he just kicked it up to the 50 piece. I didn't want to fold. I didn't want to just flat this, so I decided to just come over the top on him with an ace 5 offsuit. Pretty wild, huh? But you know what? It got it done. And there we are. All right, and next hand here, another unexpected situation. Check this out. Ace Jack offsuit. And I always talk about Ace Jack. Ace Jack offsuit, Ace 10 offsuit. They're always a couple hands that I tend to have a lot of trouble with. I think a lot of other people do too, when it's not suited. Just because it can be hard to navigate those hands if you're dealing with raises from early position players. Here we go, player 1's opening. Player 2 called. Our hand, we have to make a call, but obviously we're going to play a little bit more defense with it, a little bit more cautious, and kind of just hopefully get something with it. But I didn't expect this flop. This flop was this doesn't happen very often. I'm glad I was recording this so you guys could see it, man. We hit quads on the flop. I think the percentage of this happening is ridiculously low too. If somebody wants to look it up and post in the comments on it, like you can get quads, but typically flopping it doesn't happen very often. It's like such a tiny percentage, but it happened right here. It's even better when you got somebody leading out into this and then you get another guy calling. Obviously, we're just going to slow play this, but you know, you got to be weary. You got three people calling this flop. You got to be thinking maybe somebody does have the jack. All right, pot's already ballooning here, and I'm just hoping somebody leads out again. I'm kind of doubting it. I was kind of hoping there'd be like an ace on the river or something. Queen might not be bad either if somebody has a queen here, you know. We just got to see what happens. I wasn't expecting either of these guys to kind of like continue here. But if somebody's got a queen in this spot, maybe they make the call here. So check it out. I guess too, if somebody had like pocket kings or like pocket aces, which is less likely because we have an ace, then they'd also be kind of in trouble here. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, here we go. I'm going to go for the pot size and see if anybody bites. I think maybe a queen would call here too, possibly. I mean, it's possible. I'm thinking only an overpair or a queen right there is going to make that call. But we didn't get anything. You know, it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, we flopped quads. I mean, come on now. All right, next time we get a king-queen offsuit here. I think, let's see if player 2 raised it. Yeah, no, he limped. I'm going to raise it up to the 1250 piece, and we're going to kind of go from there. All right, back over to player 4. He is going to, I think he's going to raise, yeah, he's going to raise this. Now, I decided in this spot to just let this one go. If it was suited, I probably would have called. Player 4 was playing, like I said, kind of wide at this point with his aggressiveness. Like, I wasn't really believing it, but I kind of gave him the benefit of the doubt in this one and just let this go. You know, I guess my spidey senses were tingling a little bit here. Player 2 made the call, and I'm just going to fold it. And I was happy to see we didn't hit anything anyways. We had no draws here. You know, so we really had nothing. Player 4 is going to continue here. 38 piece, back over to player 2. Who's going to call? Turn card is a spade. We still would have had nothing, but I probably would have just folded this anyways. Especially on the turn. Player 4 is going to go, player 2 is going to go all in on a draw, actually. That's all he's got. Player 4 is going to call with 7. 7's actually had some outs there. There was a 5 to a straight plus a 7. That was a nice play by player 4. So he's playing pretty good. Got to give it up to him. Got to give somebody credit where credit is due, okay? Credit was definitely due right there. That was a nice play. We'll tip our hat to him, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, don't go anywhere, guys. We still got some more stuff coming up here. We're kind of just warming up, and hope you're enjoying it so far. Just kind of like breaking down my thought process on this. You know, after playing for so many years, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like you just kind of like build these little skills that stack on top of each other. You know what I'm saying? There's obviously nuance to all this. Plus, you know, you're always playing against different people when you hop on. But, you know, yeah. And, of course, players are going to get better as you move up in stakes, you know, from playing those lower games to, like, the mid games like this. So you have to adjust. And you can't just play, like, one obvious style, right? You have to mix things up. But like I'm always hinting at this, like you really just want to make the best decisions possible when you're playing. That is definitely a key. All right, anyways, here we go. I am just going to check this down. This was actually a little bit frustrating. Our hand was actually good here up until the river. This guy's going to turn over a6. I could have continued on the turn. I was 50-50 on it. And he got the miracle 6 on the river, so good for him, right? He took it down. All right, 6-3 off. Going to be folding it. Folding that 6-3 off, man. We ain't playing that. No, sir. No, sir. All right, 10 at 9 suited. This hand was so confusing. All right, so the thing about having suited connectors, like, we're playing in a game that's pretty deep, and 10-9 suited spades, man, like, if somebody wants to raise it up, totally fine with that. We're not going to go anywhere. Now, it's going to come back over to player one, who's been actually playing pretty snug. I have picked up on that, so any re-raise at this point from him looks pretty strong. We could be putting him on, a lot of ace king, ace queen suited type of hands. He could have overpairs. It doesn't really change my opinion about this. Like, we're not going anywhere. We're making the call. Flop, not ideal, okay? Like, ace king got there, obviously. We're still ahead in some other hands. Ace queen, possibly. There's also, there's not much. If he's got an overpair like jacks or queens, we're in trouble. But he kept it small, so I continued. Turn card didn't really change anything. If he goes for it again here on the turn, then I do have to make a decision here because it's likely he could have ace king or an overpair. I couldn't really see somebody continuing here unless they had one of those hands, right? When you think it through more. But he is going to actually check this. He's going to think about it too. Actually, or no, I'm sorry, he didn't check it. He continued. And I actually continued here. I guess I just wasn't believing it for whatever reason. That was a really good continuation, though, on the turn. Okay. So now the pot has gotten pretty big, as you guys can see. And I'm sitting here just, keeping my fingers crossed that he checks it. Okay. If he's got ace king or like a king queen suited, there's nothing we could do here. We're just going to have to let this go. But I'll tell you what. When he turns over his hand here, because guess what? He is going to raise the white flag. I made a really good call on the turn, but I'll say this. Player one going for that large sizing on the turn, having absolutely nothing, was a really good play by him. It's unfortunate he ran into a stubborn player like me who just wasn't a believer in this spot. And guess what, guys? The 10-9 suited, it's going to get it done here. You know what I'm saying? So, oh man, I'll tell you what, seeing that check though. All right, so there we go, man. Ace queen versus the 10-9 suited. We got it done. And we got it done. All right, we got a couple more hands here if you guys want to watch them, but I hope you enjoyed some of this. Like I said, man, I thought we played pretty decent, made some good plays. This one's going to run a little bit shorter than usual, but if you're enjoying it here, man, get in the community. It's going to be in the pinned comment. We could talk. Subscribe if you haven't. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.